Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Orlando and we're going to talk about all of the bad deals, not all of them, just some of the bad deals that I've come across, because I really think that this will help individuals kind of know exactly what to look for. Maybe you run into these situations yourself and you just don't know what to do. One of the biggest things that I always try to tell individuals who want to get into real estate, especially individuals who are taking my course or looking for any type of mentorship when it comes to real estate, is the very first deal that you get, you tend to look at it a little bit different than, than if you were to be on your third, fourth, or fifth deal. There tends to be a lot of emotional connection with trying to just get your first deal under contract and get that underneath your belt. So you tend to overlook a lot of things. And this lesson here that I'm trying to tell you as far as what deals that I have in the past is crucial because it allows you to see exactly what you need to look for. So number one, let me just kind of tell you the backstory to this. So I got this deal through a realtor. A realtor gave me a call and they were trying to earn my business. And they said, hey, Orlando, here is a deal that we think will be great for you. At the time, it was like a 3-unit building and it was in a decent neighborhood. And I said, yeah, I'll go ahead and take a look at it. So I went to go take a look at the property. I asked the realtor, like, what was the price? You know, because sometimes you can get priced out of a market. It just doesn't make sense no matter what, unless you know that the seller is going to be able to negotiate with you. Well, I asked the realtor and he said, to be honest with you, he just says that, we can negotiate it once you take a look at it. So I went to go take a look at it and the outside looked great. I mean, it looked like it was supposed to. I mean, everything kind of looked normal, maybe a little cleanup on the yard, lawnscape, stuff like that. But as far as the outside exterior, it looked fine. Get inside, I get hit immediately with the mildew water smell. Automatically, I know that there's something going on here. Well, I see the owner inside and the owner's immediately is saying that he's trying to get it off of his hands. He's moving. He wants to just sell all of his property. And he tells me the price just right off the bat. He tells me right off the bat. And the price is like $98,000 in a prime neighborhood, like $98,000. Now, here's the thing. I was wondering, like, why is the property so cheap? I mean, like, why is it so cheap? And you guys got to remember, I'm not a fixer-upper type of individual. I just like to do a little bit cosmetic here and there, fix a little this and that, and then get it rented out. Well, he told me $98,000, and I automatically knew that there was something wrong with this property. So I go ahead and I take a look and I ask him about the mildew smell, and then he tells me, oh, it's downstairs. And you go downstairs and there was still water in the basement. Probably about, I don't know, 1.5 inches of water still in the basement. I didn't even want to go down there because I knew my feet were going to get wet. It was just horrific as far as the water damage that had been done in this unit. And I said, well, what's going on? What happened? And he told me that there was cracks in the foundation. Water was coming in from the foundation side of it. Also, he said that they also had water leakage in some of the pipes upstairs, I guess, that leaked downstairs too. But a lot of the water damage had came from the foundation, and there was gonna have to be like extensive foundation repair. And he also said that water was coming up from the sewer too, that the sump pump couldn't catch up with it. So right then and there, I knew why the property was so cheap. It's because it had so much water damage. Now, here's the thing that I'm gonna tell you guys about me. Water damage to me is like the end all be all, because I don't know. You can fix something when it comes to water damage and foundation, and then still have to deal with it later when it rains, when it storms, thinking that you fixed everything, because water will find its way through. It's going to, if there's a crack there, it's going to come through. And I just knew that even if I went ahead and took this and had a basement professional come in there, fix it up and all that other stuff, it was still going to be a lot of trouble. Well, here's the thing. He owed about $100,000. So he was, he was cutting it about $2,000 short. He said that maybe we could go through a short sale, but if you guys know anything about short sales take a minute to get done. And so I just said, yeah, okay, well, let me talk to the realtor about it and we'll go about it. Well, I went and I said, hey, look, the only way I would buy this deal is I would literally try to get the price down as cheap as possible and then wholesale it to someone who possibly could fix or flip it, give it to them, try to, build some favors with some people. Maybe do something like that. I don't know. But either way, I would just try to get the price down as low as possible. Well, the realtor told me that it was going to take 6 to 7 months just to get the bank to agree. And they may not even agree with it. And better yet, he had a relationship with the bank and he said they're known to not negotiate on short sales. And what they probably would do is just take it over themselves and fix it up and do what they got to do and resell it. So I just pulled out of the deal and I said, no, thank you. I don't want to take it on myself. All of that water damage is just going to be a headache, guys. So if you see water damage, I can deal with fire damage, because especially if it's fire damage and I knew where it came from, it wasn't electrical in the wires, and if it was something that someone set it or something like that, I could deal with that. But water damage is just it's just a lot. So if you see water damage, you smell that mildew when you get into the house, be wary of that. Be extremely cautious on what your next steps are if you're going to purchase a property like that. So here's another situation where I passed up on a deal that I believe will help you. So I got contacted by a seller that wanted to sell I believe it was a 24 unit building. I was really excited. I went to go take a look at it. I loved the way it looked. I mean, everything about the property, the area, everything was great. It needed a little bit of cosmetic stuff here and there to make it more appealing. The occupancy on the building itself was, I think, at like 93%, which is good. All of those things just made sense. But the only problem that I had with the deal is the seller let me know immediately that he was trying to sell the building for $2 million, which was extremely too high. Like, I knew as soon as he said $2 million, I was like, there's no way that this is worth $2 million. It won't even make it through financing. It won't appraise out. The property is not worth $2 million, especially with the current rents. He hadn't raised the rents. There still needed to be some things done inside the building to make it a little bit more modern. The outside looked decent, but I would like to spruce up some things with some landscaping. So there was some cost that was going to be had there. And I understand that sellers don't really look at that cost and be like, well, that's not my cost, but it's still going to be a cost to me, and I still have to make the numbers work. Well, this seller was just not willing to negotiate. He was like, no, I'm not going to sell it for that. This is my price. You either take it or leave it. And I had to leave it, because this is the thing, guys. A lot of times you will get your mind so infatuated with a property and try to get that property and buy that property and say, I can imagine me owning this property. Well, you can't do it at any cost. The numbers have to work. That's the thing. The numbers have to work when you move them around and you're taking expenses out and you're just like, well, you know what? I won't do landscaping. I won't do this. Now it works. No. Make sure you put all the expenses that you need to run the property, and that the expenses are the expenses. We don't want to buy properties that at the end of the day don't make sense regularly, but they make sense when you take expenses out. I mean, you're fooling yourself. You're putting yourself in a situation to fail. And we don't want that. No, we're not trying to fail. Not on purpose. Not on purpose, at least, right? So if you do that, if you go ahead and try to pull out expenses and try to negotiate with a seller that just does not want to negotiate, their price is hard and their price is overpriced. And some of our veterans watching this video have been through that, where the seller just won't move and you have to walk away from those type of deals. Now, he may soften up later. I will definitely keep him in the Rolodex and in my contact list as far as like, hey, look, I'm going to contact him later and maybe he'll come down off of that price. But at this moment, he just would not move off of that price. And here's how I knew he wasn't going to move off of that price. Midway into our conversation, he was telling me, yeah, you know, we would like to sell the property, but we don't have to sell the property. And also too, you know, other people, when we sold properties to them, they just gave us an offer we couldn't refuse. And when a seller says things like that, like other people, he's comparing you to others and saying that the reason why they sold their other buildings is because they were offered a price that they couldn't refuse. That is red flags for overpaying for a property. And sir, I'm not overpaying for a property, so we can get past that and hey, I'll catch you on the next one. So guys, I hope that this information I'm giving you, these stories I'm giving you about the deals that I turned down, will help you in your future endeavors in purchasing a property, knowing what to look out for. But in the meantime, I'm gonna need you to watch this next video here. It will help you get into your first rental property and get you into more rental properties. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.